2007, I started a street style blog. So back then I was just a blogger and it wasn't cool yet. We weren't even called digital influencers. As such, I've grown up in the digital influencer economy with Chiara Ferragni, Blonde Salad, Ami Song. All the big bloggers are my close friends because I started before there was even Facebook, before there was Instagram, before there was Twitter, before all the social media channels were around. Doing that, I've created a lot of relationships, and I was in a transition point just this last May looking for something new and more exciting because I'm a little bored with blogging and street photography now. So at this point, we have a visual story for you. It's a little bit of an American dream, how it all happened. Okay, so I was in a transition point. I was looking for something new besides street style photography to do, because street photography, the marketplace is oversaturated and it was over competitive. And I knew through reading the news that virtual reality was going to be something really big. And there was a virtual reality company in New York City that had an open house, and they invited anybody to the open house. And I was so excited. I was like, great, this is my opportunity to see virtual reality and maybe meet some people in the industry. So I went to the meeting and I introduced myself to the chief operating officer of what is New York's #1 virtual reality company. And in New York City, we call that an elevator pitch. I had 15 seconds to keep this guy's attention, and I told him all the amazing things I'd be able to do for him in the fashion industry. Apparently, some of it worked because I found myself at a party with the global sales director, Mike Torino here. And then I started studying the financial data behind virtual reality to confirm that there's a lot of money in the industry, because I'm not about to waste my time if there's not a good profit for me to be made or profit for me to help other people make. So I started doing this research and I found virtual reality company, the investments in them is at an all-time high. In the stock market, if you have major institutional investors putting money into a stock, it usually moves that's called volume, and it moves the price of the stock. That's what I was looking for, and I found that in virtual reality. Then I found, which you can see here, the number of companies that are finding investors is going up. Here, we find most of the money at this point in time, this is way back in like May, institutional money was going into every industry but fashion. And that made me even more excited because I was like, oh great, I can sell this to the tech industry because I'm in fashion and I have all the connections to make it happen. Gaming and architecture is where most of the money is going right now in virtual reality. One thing led to another, and I wound up on Skype with Alexander Shinsky and the chief operating officer of UVisit, and we wound up planning Mirror to the Soul. So we came out last October with three guys on a film crew, and we made Mirror to the Soul. The camera there is like a selfie stick, and it has 4 GoPros wrapped around it, and that's what we used to film it. So you can see I was also, going back to that photo, I was using social media to promote it. Then we decided to call it Mirror to the Soul. Mirror to the Soul is about any fashion week, ultimately. Wherever you find yourself, whether it's New York or London or Milan or Paris, there are common experiences that in English we call cornerstone experiences to a fashion week. Those are fashion industry insider experiences. Those include travel, having a private car drive you from one show to the other, street style, the main venue. You can see up here on number 5, we have a group selfie because that's a cultural icon right now, so it'll give something in the future for people to remember when they see the video. We have hair and makeup. We have first looks, which is at number 8 at 2 minutes and 47 seconds through the video. First looks is when the models are dressed and right before they go out onto the runway. We have front row with Natalia Vodianova in the video. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be a runway photographer at a fashion week, we have at 2 minutes and 39 seconds virtual reality like you're the runway photographer. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be a model walking down the catwalk, when you come around the corner and you see all the people on the left and on the right, we have that starting at 4 minutes and 34 seconds. It's pretty extraordinary what we did. We also did something that was the first ever combination of VR and animation. We're at point number 12, 2 minutes and 29 seconds through the video, a model turns into a cartoon. And that would be Jay Suck, who's an illustrator who's been coming out for like a few years. There's some other cool things that we included in the 360-degree photography. We have these things called hotspots, which I can show you after everyone else has gotten a chance to talk. We'll come back to that later. Ultimately, American Vogue, which is the final authority in fashion, wrote a huge article on it. It didn't hurt that I knew the Alessandra Codina. She's a friend of mine, so I just went to her and told her about what we were doing. She wrote it up. Vogue Mexico, Vogue Latin America, Vogue Italy, US Forbes soon followed suit. And Business of Fashion also wrote an additional article on the groundbreaking film. Every year in the United States and Nevada, all the leading tech companies of the world go to this festival called CES. And at CES, they had a virtual reality festival. This film won Best Travel Film because they don't have a fashion category yet, so they gave us the Best Travel documentary. So after this film was done, I went back home to New York and started researching more and more on where the money's flowing in virtual reality. It's by 2020 supposed to be a $30 billion industry. In the second slide down, part of the reason for that is engagement. Does everyone in here know what virtual reality is? Hands? Yes? No? If you have not tried virtual reality, hold your hand up. Yeah, if you have not tried. Just 2, 3, 4. Okay, now put your hands out. How many of you have tried virtual reality? Perfect. Okay, thank you. So for those of you who haven't tried virtual reality, it's an immersive experience. You put these headsets on and you feel electronically like you're actually at whatever it is you're looking at inside the camera viewer. That's called engagement, and that's what makes virtual reality so unique. Instead of being a passive viewer of a film or a TV, you're actually the director yourself because you control what you look at. Does that make sense? Yeah? Good. Thank you. The cool thing about virtual reality is that it increases conversion rates. Does anybody know what a conversion rate is? What I mean by that? Do you know? Yeah. It's when people ask for more information, or they want to buy, or they want to click the link to figure out what's happening. So the average conversion rate with UVisit and our VR films is 12.3%, which is actually extraordinarily high. Then here's just like something you can see. It says more engagement at the bottom equals more interest equals more actions taken, which is the conversion rate. So Alexander and I got to talking about how we can continue doing virtual reality after last season's film. And I proposed to him that we bring Google Cardboards out to introduce virtual reality to the Russian marketplace. But before we did that, I did a thorough and comprehensive study of what the fashion industry was doing with VR, for short. Are you with me? You good? Okay. We have all the brands over here on the left. You can see Topshop started it back in 2014, and just as recent as Paris Fashion Week, Balenciaga did a VR film. But we're going to move on for that. That's kind of boring. Goldman Sachs. Is everyone in here familiar with Goldman Sachs? Yes? They predict virtual reality is supposed to be a $100 billion industry by 2025. And that's a little graph there from their study. But anyway, Alexander and I agreed that we would do something with Google Cardboards because it's making virtual reality, the goal is to give it aspirational value. If we make virtual reality cool, then other people are going to want to use virtual reality as well. If you remember back to high school, the cool kids all looked cool because they wore cool clothes. Totally something subjective, not something as adults that we have to believe. But that's one of the things that still drives consumer behavior. So we're making VR fun by showing fashionistas using Google Cardboard for the first time at Fashion Week ever in the history of the world. And these are some of the photos that I took of people using it. There. And over here I have some special terms on virtual reality vocabulary. You can come up to me afterwards if you want, but you'll hear the head-mounted display. That's Google Cardboard. It's called HMD. Probably everyone in here has heard of Oculus Rift. It's a black, you have to have it connected to a computer, and it looks like a welder's helmet. The Samsung Gear is another head-mounted display. It looks like a stormtrooper accessory from Star Wars that you put on your face. And then you have Google Cardboard, which is something cheap. I'm also in the process of designing a fashion-friendly headset experience, but that's for another conversation. We have immersion, and that's refresh rate, field of view. It's like your eye can see 200 degrees around. The more that we can replicate that in virtual reality, the more real the experience will feel when you have the headset on. Haptics in virtual reality is when you can actually feel like you're touching what you see electronically through your eyes. Oculus, probably everyone in here saw a picture of Mark Zuckerberg doing this, like this pose. Did you see that? Yeah? I'm looking at you. Did you see the picture of Mark Zuckerberg? No? Okay. I like that. Oh, anyway, that makes you actually feel like you're touching what it is that you're with in virtual reality. That's called haptics. I'll leave the acceleration of that technology to the porn industry, which is probably where it's going to come from, because everyone wants to feel like they're touching in VR. Accelerated uptake is what we're all waiting for. That's how fast the consumer marketplace is adapting VR, and then critical mass. But for me, the most important thing, and probably for you guys, is what's the connection between virtual reality and fashion? And this isn't meant to be gospel truth, but people buy based on emotions, then they use logic. And the same emotions that cause people to want to be ahead of the curve with clothing are the same emotions that cause people to want to be ahead of the curve